Okay, hello and welcome. I am back. It has been a while. Um, Today I'm going to be discussing Tony Gustavsson's new and first squad as Sweden Women's National Team manager. Um, yeah, I meant to record and upload this earlier in the week. I actually did record, but I didn't upload. And I'm also sorry for being gone so long. I plan to upload much more regularly, but I will definitely be here at the very least at every international break talking about the Sweden women's national team. So if that's something you're interested in, then subscribe and comment your thoughts on the squad as well. I'd love to hear it. So let's get straight into it. I want to start in some interesting talking points. So the left back situation has it's interesting. So I mean, Anna Sandberg is in. She's obviously wasn't in the Euros. She's playing really well for Man United. Probably one of the best left backs this season in the WSL. Just really impressive all round game. This is her first season where she's really kicked on. She's now first choice. Before she was playing deputy to Gabby George, and now she's in the team. Just really good delivery on her crossing. Her all round game is really at high level, and she looks really confident. And she almost what I like about her is she looks like she's confident in her ability, and that she's seamlessly kind of slotted into a very good team and playing very well. Like I said, her movement, her overlaps. She scored a really good goal as well against Chelsea. It was, I think, outside the box. And she's just, I, I think she's got a lot going for her because she has the technical aspect, and then I think she's physically really good as well, which has really helped her defensively. I think defensively she looks really strong. Fronts up her opposition, and kind of like she looks confident that she's going to win that battle, and she does win a lot of the battles of the players she comes up against. So I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed by her. So I think for me there was no surprise that she's in. Obviously, wasn't there at the Euros. Deserves to be in. What I'm surprised about is the lack of another left back. I mean, I think Amanda Nilden's playing really well for Tottenham, like really well. Slightly different player, a bit more, I'd say, a bit more direct, a bit more pace. She likes to really get really high. Nilden on the pitch, really, again got a brilliant left foot, like Sandberg, and I think the way Tottenham play, they play in a way that's kind of their back three kind of their back four kind of shifts, and it allows her to get really high, and their right back kind of almost tucks in a bit. Not always. I mean, it was Rybrink who was actually doing that, who I think is played solidly, but not enough for this squad. But yeah, I think it's interesting she's not there. I mean, I'm not surprised there's no Jona Andersson. I think she's obviously playing for Linköping, who are at the bottom, I think second bottom of the Damallsvenskan, and I think she needs to be playing at a higher level. But you know what? I'm really grateful. Like she's a brilliant player, and she's still got a brilliant left foot. And I think she could, if she was in this squad, I wouldn't complain if Jona Andersson was still here. You know, I think I wouldn't say, you know, I don't think she's done. I think she could still get back into the team if she plays at if she shows a bit more of her quality on a consistent basis. And I think, I think the issue is she's slowed down in some elements, maybe defensively and pace. But yeah, I mean, I would assume she wouldn't be here, and we'd have Sandberg and Nilden, but there's not even no backup to Sandberg. Is interesting. At the right backs, Hannah Lundqvist is in. Smilla Holmberg. I think that's pretty safe and what I expected. Smilla Holmberg is a brilliant prospect, playing really well for club and country. So just an outstanding player. Lundqvist probably provides a bit more solidity, but still pretty young herself. So I really like that pairing. Centre backs, Magda Eriksson was always going to be there. Natalie Bjorn as well, who's playing brilliantly for Chelsea. Like, been one of their best players for quite a while now, for quite a consistent amount of time. And considering how many good centre backs they have at Chelsea, and the fact she still starts every game and is such a good performer for them. She's just brilliant beyond. Amanda Ilestedt, who's moved to Frankfurt, scoring goals, which we know she's very good at. I think she was their top scorer. I think Blomqvist might have scored another, who I'll get to. So I don't think she's their top scorer after today, but she's a really good, solid professional. Elma Untila Nelhaga, I'll be honest, I don't know much about. Also, correct me if I'm wrong with any pronunciations for anything. In the comments, it was really useful. But I don't think she plays at Lyon. She's 22, played a lot for the youth teams. She moved there in January and is playing a bit more, Elma is, but she's not. She's still on the bench quite a bit. So I think it's an interesting pick. I didn't expect it. Again, I probably wouldn't have brought her and would have brought a left back, or I wouldn't have brought maybe Linda Sembrant and again brought another left back. I love Linda. I think she's brilliant. I think she's brilliant. And I mean, I'm surprised to see her in here. I really thought she'd retired internationally. Turns out the quotes were more her saying it was her last championship and not her last games, which kind of makes sense because it's not like we saw an official announcement. But I'm just quite shocked she's in here. Moved back to the Damallsvenskan. I thought that was kind of her stepping back a bit. But look, I'd be surprised if she plays. But I think anytime, I mentioned it a lot on this channel, anytime she steps in, I'm always impressed by her level. 38 now, but she's still... And she obviously adds a lot of leadership in the group. So I think it's great she's here. I'll get to Aslani as well, because that's an interesting pick by Tony. But he did speak about the leadership, the continuity of having Sembrant, he spoke about in his press conference. But yeah, so they're the defenders. Kind of pretty expected, apart from I'm just a bit surprised about the left back. Tony Gustavsson did speak about in his press conference the possibility of wing backs or a three at the back. And he kept that's what I inferred from the amount of times he mentioned how a player like Natalie Bjorn, she's used to playing in a 3 or a 4 at Chelsea. He mentioned how Holmberg could play right back or right wing back. He mentioned some other players in the attacking areas who could play right back, who could play a wing back role. I just found it interesting. He mentioned a lot about players' versatility to play in different systems. That was kind of screaming out to me that we might see a 3 at the back. Again, that makes it even more surprising that there's no Amanda Nilden, because I do think she really suits a potential system like that as a wing back. But I won't go on about it anymore. I won't. But let's go on to midfielders. As the kind of deeper options, there's the 3 that were there in the Euros: Angeldal, Hannah Bennison, and Julia Zigotti-Olme. Yeah, I mean, Angeldal is who they actually just noticed they spelt their name wrong on this graphic. But she's an unbelievably important player to this side. Obviously, how we will play will depend. It will be interesting to see where Tony just deploys her in a difference, because she was such an important player under Gerhardsson. But I think Tony mentioned how in the press conference again, he mentioned how she could play as a 6 and I guess be that kind of dictator of the tempo, or she could play further forward in a role more similar to Gerhardsson, where she would take up those kind of right half spaces and be able to get on the edge of the box and have shots. And she was a really clinical player in the final third for us. So I'd prefer her in that role, but I can see what he's saying. Likewise, Zigotti-Olme, she can play that deeper role, or that's what she's played for Sweden the past year, where she's kind of cleaning up, sweeping up interceptions and stuff. But for Man United, she's actually played that kind of slightly higher up role, where she's playing a similar role of box to box, really tenacious, but using those qualities higher up the pitch. Again, I think you could play both of them either way around. I'd prefer them the way we saw with Gerhardsson, Zigotti-Olme deeper and Angeldal higher. But it all depends on how Tony adapts the team. And we've got to remember, these are the Nations League games against Spain, which I don't think I've even mentioned that so far into the video. But Tony again spoke a lot about pace, which we'll get to in the wide areas, that he kept talking about players, their pace, and we need that against Spain. So I think we should also be prepared that this team that plays might be slightly different to the team he wants to play most games, because in most games you're not coming up against a team as good as Spain. So I think I think that's got to be taken into account. That the way he sets up. I think it was Semi Sound commented on one of my videos a few weeks, not a few weeks ago, during the Euros, about how they expect that Tony Gustavsson will bring a change of personality, and but probably will keep with the system that Gerhardsson's been using, or relatively similar, because I think the team has proved in the Euros how good they were tactically, that they were playing really well. I hope I've not misquoted Semi Sound there, but I think it was a good point that I would be surprised if Tony Gustavsson completely rips up everything that we saw in the Euros, because they were playing so well. And I think it's more bringing a slightly different voice that's going to help. That's going to be the important side of Tony, in my opinion. And Hannah Bennison, she's not playing much for Real Madrid, but we know the qualities again. Really good technical player, can kind of play both roles I've explained. And yeah, but she's been on the bench. I don't think she started a game. I think she's starting the game as of today. That day she's recording. I think she's starting her first game in the league. She's struggling to get in. She's actually usually coming on for Angeldal. But hopefully over time, new signing, she'll get into the stuff. Like I said, I just want to touch on Zigotti Olmo has been exceptional for Man United. Like, really, I think they thought she would come in and just be a solid signing, their fans, and I think they all have now realised the level she's performing at. And I banged on about Zigotti Olmo before the tournament, during the tournament, about how an important player she is to the team. And I think it's really nice. One, she's really proved that, and two, she's really getting the plaudits for it, and I think she really deserves it. I think she's a really good player who's really kind of blossoming at this part of her career. But yeah, moving on to slightly more advanced areas. Asllani is in, which is brilliant. I really want her to go to the World Cup, personally. I mean, I think she's doing really well at London City Lionesses. She's not looking past it in a really tough league. She's playing really well. I saw she was the highest on key passes on London City Lionesses posted on Instagram in the league, which is really impressive. I was worried because she did an interview with Tobin Heath a few weeks ago about how she was really thinking about, she wasn't sure what she was going to do, whether she was going to carry on. And I think it would have been silly to retire before this when you've got a chance to win a trophy. Now, I don't think the Nations League is anything on a Euros or World Cup, but I think Asllani would 100% take it. And I do think if we win, I think that would be Asllani done. I think she'd retire just end on that high. I mean, I want her to go to the World Cup. That's personally what I think. Now, now obviously that's if you win, and I think that's a very tough ask, really, against Spain, and then you've got to face one of France or Germany. But I think Asllani has enough to keep going, and she's so good defensively, as I say, so good at that part of her game and her work rate, and it's not slowing down. So for as long as she's still really good at that, I have no issues with her starting most games. Obviously not every game, because you've got to create a succession plan, but she's really good. Rosa Kafaji, nice to see that she's moved to her loan move to Brighton. She was on the bench a bit, now getting into a bit more games. She's playing off the left rather than, I think, her more favoured position in the 10, and I think that's where she'll be used in this squad. She'll be behind Asllani, but I think she's been used on the left, which works fine. Right foot, she cuts in a more inverted role, kind of suits her. It's an interesting option because she could of course play there as well. I think she's got and she scored a brilliant goal for Brighton. I think it was against Leicester or West Ham. Such a good player, and she just needs game time, and I think will be a really good move for her. But I would like to see her more in that 10 role, but I think Fran Kirby starts there for Brighton, so it's kind of understandable that she can't really play there, but just more consistent minutes, and I'm sure she'll get better and better. Other players, if I move more on the left, you're going to have Fridolina Rolfö. Sorry, I just drew a blank. Monica Yusuba is an interesting one. She has had one cap, but this is she plays for Häcken and she's pacey. I have to be honest, I don't know much about her because I don't watch much of the league, but she, from what I've seen and from highlights, she does look like quite a tricky. She looks a bit of a different player for a different option from other players on the left. A bit, like I said, trickier. She's got a lot more. She's got an out and out pace as well. Like a different profile. And I think Tony Gustavsson did mention her speed and how that's useful against Spain. I would be surprised if she plays against Spain, I'll be honest. But I agree, it's a really interesting profile to have in the squad. And I think she deserves it. I think she deserves it because I think, I think she's a really interesting option. And then you have Rebecca Blomqvist, who again, I'm quoting a lot of what Tony said as well, but Tony did mention she can play in all those 4 options. Like she can play on the left, right, striker, 10. She's got a lot about her, and I think she's quite a good versatile option. Again, she's scoring some good, getting some good numbers so far for Frankfurt this season, where she's moved to from Wolfsburg. So pretty impressive. Again, I like her as an option. I don't think I would be surprised if she's a starter, but let's see. I don't know why I said let's see so many times then, but and then you got JRK, Ritten Kaneryd on the right. She's brilliant every time. She's very good every time she plays for Sweden. I think that's not the case always for Chelsea. I think they get frustrated at her, the fans. But she still starts a lot of games for what is one of the best clubs in the world. So she's a definite. Was always going to be here. Stina Blackstenius again. Unfortunate for her that she's behind Rousseau, one of the best strikers in the world at Arsenal, but she gets off the bench, scores goals when she can. She's a good player. She's a really good player, of course. Now behind her, there's Felicia Schröder, who's playing amazingly for Häcken in the Damallsvenskan. I think she's got 27 goals when I last checked in the league, which is insane when you consider someone that's missing from this squad, Ellen Wangenheim, who's got 15, only got 15. Obviously she's playing really well as well, and she's a really good striker, and I'll get to her. But that's insane numbers from Schröder to be 27, I think 22 games, and what she's really good at is she's a really, again, slightly different player, a bit smaller, a bit more nimble, but she's got, again, good pace, good movement, clever finishing. She's got a lot going for her when you've kind of got that kind of pace and kind of athletic kind of flexibility to go alongside some really good finishing. I think she's only 18. Like, that's insane when I really deep that. I think about that. Like, that's pretty insane numbers for an 18-year-old. I don't think it'll be long before she gets a move. And the other striker option is Evelyn IJ, playing for AC Milan, scoring lots of goals last season, was one of the top ones in Serie A. And I was actually expecting her to be in the Euro squad, but she wasn't. And it was Ellen Wangenheim who was brought, who actually I was impressed by in the moments we saw her coming off the bench. Just interesting that IJ and Schröder miss out and in the Euros, and now obviously it's a different manager, Tony Gustavsson, looking into these. I think it's unfortunate for Wangenheim, but I think we'll see her again at some point. IJ, I don't really know how she's done much this season because there's not been many Serie A games. They started quite late. There's only 3 as of today. They've had their 3rd match when I'm recording this, so not much to go on this season. Again, that makes it slightly more surprising. But again, she's a strong player, good finisher. Again, slightly different qualities to the other strikers. So I think it's a nice balance. And I think I've talked about everyone pretty much. Oh yeah, and the goalkeepers. Jennifer Valk is going to be the starter. I mean, I'm surprised she's not got a move to I think she'll get a move to England, and I think she'll be I think she's a brilliant goalkeeper, and I think she's really underrated because of the club she plays for. With no disrespect, I think she deserves she deserves to be playing at probably a higher level, and she played really well in Haken's playoff games against Atletico Madrid. It was really sad that they didn't get Champions League because they were very, very close. And then Tove and Bloom, I think, will be the backup. And Moa Urchman, again, I don't know if the pronunciation was correct there or not, but she is new cap, well, uncapped, new into the squad, 27, plays for Malmo. But yeah, that's everyone. Like I said, it will be interesting to see how Tony plays. I think he's a good squad. Other players missing out. Lena Hurtig, I think she's picked up an injury. She's not played in the Serie A yet. She played in a few cup games earlier on. No Madeline Yanogi, who I think still can get back in. I think she's still got. I think there's something about her, but I can kind of understand why she's not here. And some younger players have been chosen ahead of her. Sorry, I just coughed. Yeah, I think they're the main ones. Vangenheim as well, as I missed out. I might just be drawing a blank. And as I said, the two left backs. I might be drawing a blank of another player that's missing out in those. Oh yeah, and Sophia Jakobsen, but I think she's barely had any minutes for London City, so I wasn't expecting her to be here. But yeah, really good team. And I'm quite happy by the balance. But yeah, so as for videos, like I said, I'm really sorry. I wanted to upload more videos in between, but I will definitely be here at least every international break to talk about the team. And I want to make more videos in between as well, kind of talking about how players are playing and stuff. But thank you for all the support during the Euros. I really appreciate all the comments. So if you want to comment anything, again, any tips, any things you think differently to me or you've seen differently, please mention. And yeah, I look forward to responding to any comments. So I will, but yeah, so I will see you. I'll be doing reactions to the Spain games and possibly like starting 11 predictions. I'm not sure I'd guarantee doing a big preview, but I'll see. But definitely reactions to the videos. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.